For the past 18 years, I have been very fascinated about the concept of the mind. I've been engaging myself, learning a lot of things about the mind, and that's why I earned the function, the MindSurgeon. I've done a lot of studies and I have read a lot of reports, materials concerning how the mind works, the connection of the mind with the soul of a man, with his body, the connection of the mind with respect to the identity of a man, his thoughts, and all of that. I've read most of the psychology behind the concept of mindsets. And I've come to a conclusion that mindset is actually currency. It's something we trade with every single time. Your mind is very powerful. I'm sure you've heard this phrase 1,000 times. The mind, very powerful. I'm currently sitting on the mind of someone. You're currently watching me through the mind of people. You possibly is wearing someone's mind as a cloth. But the cumulative effect of this creates a concept that is set on something, and that forms your mindset. What is the content of your mind? What have you fed your mind with? What do you engage your mind with constantly every day, passively or actively? When you're able to answer these questions, then I can tell what your mindset is. Basically, what is your mind set on as a human being? Like I said, mindset is currency. What is currency? It's more like a legal platform or something that is used to purchase something. I mean, you trade with it. So we have currencies like the dollar, we have the CD, we have the yen, we have the rubles, and all of that, right? It's the same thing with mind. Anytime you have a conversation with someone, you are actually trading, because one of you gets influenced by the other. If you come in contact with something, you are trading what you have in your mind with that thing. You're currently trading what you already have in your mind with what I'm telling you, because there's a collision that is actually taking place right now you're not aware of. What I am saying is data, packets of information that is colliding with already existing data, packets of information in your mind. And at the end of the day, you either get convinced, get confused about what I'm saying, or you agree. Then you make an establishment. The repetitive effect of this over a long period of time creates a certain mindset that shapes your belief systems and your values and your morals, that enables you to take certain decisions in life. And so your mindset, whether by the stimulus that we find in our environment through our 5 senses. A child grows up, knows nothing about the world he or she is coming into. As a child is born, he becomes programmed by the external stimuli and the internal stimuli. Then he begins to be educated by society, with the first contact of education being his or her family. And so certain disciplines are instilled into that child through culture, through training, through parental advice, and advice coming from people of proximity. Then the child begins to learn certain things. The child begins to see certain things, and then his mentality and mind is shaped about what he's been exposed to. The child begins to get a certain level of deliberation, and then gets to learn other things from other people through socialization. So when the child goes to school, he begins to socialize with other people who have also been programmed from elsewhere, and through their acquaintance, exchange or trade is made, and mindsets begins to collide. Choices are made, learning occurs, ideas get formed, and morals are shaped, and a lot of things happen to this child. He grows up to become an adult, and then he begins to take certain decisions based on what he or she has been exposed to. Then he convinces himself or herself that what he knows is the right thing, until he is hit by another information that is very powerful. Then what happens is that the child begins to understand certain things, gets uncomfortable when there's an introduction of a new idea or new psychology or new information. The child begins to either repel it or learn from it. And then a certain personality is formed. Unfortunately, the story about most of us is that we have become victims of the perceptions of people. And this is where your mindset comes in. If you don't engage your mind by feeding it with correct information, you will always live as a victim of what people think about you. I have been a victim several times and I'm not proud about it. I have learned from it and I'm trying to lead a new life, becoming the best of myself. Because one thing that I've come to know is that I am not just unique, but I'm actually once in a lifetime. The truth is that the me you see now will never happen to earth again. Never. If there's any concept of reincarnation, I will not come to earth the same way I came born to the same parents. It will never happen. So my unique nature is actually embedded in the reality that I would happen once in this lifetime. Yes. And so having that understanding should place a certain weight on us to live life to the fullest. And we can only do that when we have a certain productive, progressive, positive mindset. The mindset that is not limiting. A mindset that is liberating. A mindset that makes you tough. A mindset that sees yourself unique. A mindset that is a blessing to others. A mindset that makes you fierce. A mindset that gets you on the edge to do great things. A mindset that doesn't always hover itself around negativity. And so I'm doing this video to, if you're listening to me, if you get the chance to watch this video, I'm telling you that your mindset is key. Keep it, guard it. Guard your mind and feed it intentionally with great things. One of the things I've been doing in recent times is that I assess my life and I realized that there's a part of my life I was not too proud about. And so I had to change a lot of things, including certain people in my cycle of friends. And so I've stopped talking to certain people, I've cut them off. It's necessary for me to do that because looking at the effect of it, looking at the outcome of it, it has actually yielded great results. And sometimes you have to do away with even seemingly good friends. But one of the unique things I have done for myself on this journey and path of having to think differently and taking this whole detour from the normal is one of the things that I saw myself doing was, especially when it comes to social media, is I fellowshipped with a lot of garbage of content on social media where I was always finding myself watching things that are not too productive. My wall, especially on social media sites like TikTok, Facebook, my feed were always a higher percentage of jokes, trolling, nudity, profanity, watching the backs of women, yes, negativity, things that are not productive. It's always comedy, it's always bad stuff. I mean, it's always negative things that are not liberating, things that talks negative about the black race, about Africans. And I was like, yeah, so the first thing I touch usually when I'm on the bed, when I wake up, is my phone. And you're tempted to go on social media to check what is actually happening, whether on Twitter or whatever media site it is. And you are bombarded with some of these negativity. So what I did was, my feed gives me a certain type of content based on how the algorithm works. And it's based on the data it has gathered from the people in my cycle as friends or followers. And so I had to go through it. And I had to just unfollow some people and delete certain contacts and do away with certain people I follow and certain people who follow me, block certain people, and then add on people who are level-headed, people who want to do great things for their lives, people who I want to learn from, people who are doing great things. And I have consciously made that effort with respect to social media, as far as my phone is concerned. And I'm proud to say that now when I go on social media and I'm looking at my feed, it's no longer watching the cleavages of women, watching the butts of women, watching people cracking expensive joke, watching people passing out negative comments, watching people talking about negative stuff about Africa, watching people passing out negative comedies. Sense of humor is very good. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. It's very good, but you need to know how to balance it. And so I open my social media platforms and I'm seeing somebody talking about space, somebody talking about forex trade, somebody talking about books they want to learn, somebody talking about great movies to watch that you can learn something from, someone is talking about the next big idea, somebody talking about psychology, great theories of other people, watching programs that challenges you to bring the best out of yourself. You learn one or two from people that talk about great relationships and having building your inner circle, having great family, how to talk to people, giving you a challenging perspective of how you should see nature and God as an intelligence, as a force, challenging you to think deeply and meditating on things that needs to be meditated upon. And I've consciously seen the effect of it in my life, and I'm seeing that my life has been steered towards a great path that has affected me positively. And so my mindset now is being shaped into something unique, something powerful, and I'm very proud about it. It has become my currency to the extent that when I sit down and engage people, they always call me and go like, what has happened to you? How come you think about these great things? How come your mind goes into these details a lot of people would naturally not look at? And I tell them that the secret is I deliberately took this journey. And one of the secrets I can also share with you is I talk to myself a lot in the mirror. At least I do that 2 hours every day, talking to myself. When I'm taking the shower, especially in the bathroom, I spend a lot of time there looking at myself in the mirror and talking to myself. And so I want to encourage you that you have to be deliberate about this whole thing about mindset, because it's your currency. It's your currency. And once you're trading with it, you are either losing or you're gaining. You are either buying or you're selling. Passively or actively. I believe that you learned one or two things from what I've shared with you. My name is Quist, and I still remain your mind surgeon. And I want to make a humble plea please subscribe to this channel, like and comment. I would like to read your comments. I'd like to read your questions. I'd like to read your contribution. I'd like to engage and be interactive with you so I can reach a wider audience, and I'm looking forward to joining the YouTube program of monetizing what I'm doing. So please like. It won't cost you anything. Yeah, so that you can be part of my success story in the future. Right? I wish you all the best in life, and always remember that you are unique, and not just unique, but you would only happen to this earth once. Have a great day, and I'm out.